Hi, I'm Antonio Centeno, the founder of Roman Real Style, and today I'm going to be talking about how to roll up your sleeves. Okay, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. By doing so, these videos will come right to you. In addition, if you like this video, if you find it useful, please click on the like button right down here below. In addition, I'm going to link you right to an article which goes into a lot more detail about rolling your sleeve. In fact, we're going to have illustrations or pictures, and I'll talk in detail about each of the three types. So I've got three types. I'm only going to show you two. The first one is the basic roll. After that, we're going to talk about the master roll. And finally, we're going to talk about the AFA roll. Okay, so the basic roll is how it sounds, basic. And this is where I see this one as for people that have never, been around people that have rolled their sleeves. And it's the most intuitive roll, I think, that most of us have done at some time. And you just roll up normally. So you use usually the cuff as the measuring point. So you unbutton the shirt, fold back the first time on the cuff. And this roll is limited because it's hard to take down. It's time consuming to go up. And it actually, I think, becomes the most constrictive as it goes up. I'm not going to go all the way up, but as you can see, we're basically going to be using the cuff as the measure, and we'll continue to roll up until we get past the elbow. And I'll touch on the debate as to whether a cuff should be above or below the elbow. Now, depending on the shirt, this fit fine 3 times, and I said I wasn't going to show you the basic roll, but I guess I just did. So let me go ahead and go back, and we're going to talk about the master roll. The master roll, I saw it in the Marine Corps quite often, and I've also seen it with men who actually have shirts, let's say, with a contrasting color underneath here. And this looks really well, or really nice, because it's actually simpler, and when done with a bit of color in the shirt, I think it actually looks even sharper. So the idea is you're going to roll the shirt up, so you can see what I've done here. And then you're going to roll up this bottom over that. And you can do this in a combination of ways. But if you've got some color underneath here, then all of a sudden you're going to, in a sense, you don't want to show all that color, but you do want to show some. And you can straighten that out and take the time to do that. So this is the one, I feel this has less constriction, and it is really easy just to take right off. Just comes right off. Okay, so that was the master roll. We've talked about the basic roll, which I showed you. And now let's talk about the AFA roll. And many people have never heard of this one, but that's it. So I call this one the AFA roll. And this is the one that goes below the elbow, and it's more about just letting in air. This is actually the roll I choose to go with. And so let's go ahead and get into the second part of this, which is about, do you want the roll to be above the elbow or below the elbow? I personally like it when it's below the elbow, unless I'm having to do work. So above the elbow if you're having to do work, below the elbow if you're just looking to cool off, or to send a signal that, hey, it's the end of the day and it's time to relax. Let's have some beers. Let's take it easy. So this is, if I'm out walking with my family and I'm just in a dress shirt and denim, or how I typically dress, maybe, and you could even do this under a sports jacket. That's what works pretty well. And so this look right here. Now the reason I like this look versus the above the elbow is I feel it doesn't violate the rule of, and it plays with the rule of thirds. So you can see here, actually 2/3 of my arm is covered. And this is you can do the Google search on the rule of thirds, but visually, I just think that this looks a lot better, because when you go above the elbow, you go the half and half, and going 50-50 on a picture, it never looks right. And if you, I guess, go back to the Greeks and they will explain this in much better detail and better than I can. But basically, by having 2/3 and 1/3, it just looks better. It looks better with almost everything else on your body. And for me, I'm not also a huge guy, so don't have huge muscles. I think that this just makes me look more proportioned. Overall, a great look. So again, we talked about the basic roll, we talked about the master roll, and we talked about the AFA roll. If you want to learn, when you should roll your sleeves, think we did an entire other video on that. I'll probably link to that video down below. And if you've got any other questions, send them to us here at Real Men Real Style. Take care. Bye-bye.